On this morning's walk, I found myself fascinated by the spring fish nests. I also stumbled across a dinosaur of a predator, and the birds were pretty rowdy this morning, perhaps because it's springtime and they're looking to impress one another. Beautiful mornings like this really bring me a lot closer to the Tao. Sometimes I find nature so breathtaking and peaceful. Because, of course, nature is the ultimate expression of the Tao. For those of you who don't really know much about Taoism, the Tao is the fundamental principle governing the universe. It really goes outside of intellectual discussion, which is why it's often described in more poetic and paradoxical ways, or through metaphor or analogy, to try to help humans comprehend or develop some sort of understanding of what it is, even though it's, personally, I believe it's way beyond anything that we can intellectualize in this physical world. So nature really helps us to understand the Tao in a variety of ways. For instance, we can look at nature as the source for everything here on this physical plane and on this planet and on our bodies, in our bodies. Everything here comes from nature, and nature is a physical manifestation of the Tao. It also can show us balance and harmony and interconnectedness of everything in the universe. You can sit with nature and easily see the interconnectedness. It helps us understand concepts like yin and yang, and nature easily expresses that balance between opposites. Some examples would be light and dark, movement and stillness, creation, destruction, life and death. It also allows us to see the spontaneity and effortlessness that the Tao creates with, is to go with the natural flow of things instead of forcing things against their nature. It's the idea that humans should live more in harmony with nature rather than attempt to control it. Really quite foolish of humans to try to make it better or capitalize on it or force it to our will in some way. Some of the most beautiful symbolism in Taoism revolves around water. Taoist philosophy uses water as a metaphor for a lot of things. It can, over time, conquer anything. For instance, the symbols of mountains and rivers. A mountain can easily be worn away by the river, carved into by the water. And it teaches you lessons about patience and perseverance. The concept of yin and yang, which is very fundamental in Taoism, can be seen in all aspects of nature and in the balance of life. A fallen tree slowly rots and becomes the soil that then fertilizes the next generation of seedlings. Sitting with nature allows you to see the importance of Wu Wei, which is allowing things to just unfold naturally. You can't force a flower to grow and blossom. It does it in its own time, and its interconnectedness with all those things around it. Seasons changing, rivers flowing. Wu Wei is all around us when we're communing with nature. I read somewhere once that a human may understand the entire concept of nature and the Tao by sitting and contemplating a blade of grass. The energy and natural design of the ocean is exactly the same as the drop of water. Another beautiful thing we can learn from Taoism and spending time in nature is how living very simply and in accordance with natural rhythms is so important. When we fall out of natural rhythms or deny that they even exist, which is really easy to do when you rely more on living in a city setting or living according to human rules while denying nature's rules. A human can get very ill very quickly, either mentally or physically or both. It'll cut your life short, and it'll cause a lot of suffering. Taoism is the source of nature, and nature has a profound influence on how we understand Taoist philosophy. Nature can be conceived of in our mind in some way or another. Even if the perspectives are off, it can still help us move in the right direction to contemplate nature.